Hey, what's up, everybody? Purpose Driven Life Sports, and I'm back here for more NBA news. So, what's going around recently is that Kyrie Irving is very interested in signing with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, how much of this, I really don't know too much. I've just heard reports, I've seen rumors, I've read some stories about it. And it looks like it's a low chance that he actually goes back to the Celtics, which ever since the season ended, it's just, to me, indicators have just been coming and going that he wasn't going to go back to the Celtics because it's just, to me, too much went on, too much. The chemistry just, to me, wasn't there. And then when you hear about what Terry Rozier said, I think that's going to factor into it, was that, to me, as good as Kyrie was for that team, if a Terry Rozier comes out saying those things about a team that, he wasn't too happy playing behind Kyrie, then there's more than we're being told. And do I believe this report 100%? I don't. I still think a New York Knicks team plays into a factor. I still think there's a small chance he does go back to the Celtics, but it's a small chance. And to me, for him to go back, they would have to trade for Anthony Davis to really convince him. They'd have to ship off some pieces, and they'd have to build a complete team. And I don't know. I don't believe the Celtics can actually get an Anthony Davis. So, but a Nets team, I like him signing there because it's a young team. They have a really good organization so far. They went to the playoffs last year. They did give the Philadelphia 76ers a scare, and they had me thinking that they could knock them off. Even though did I really think that for like 100%? No, but they gave Philadelphia a scare the way they won. It was either game 1 or game 2. I think it was game 1. This young team is good. Now, what does that do for D'Angelo Russell? It remains to be seen, because if it will be really cool is that if he could bring a KD over to the Brooklyn Nets, or if he goes with KD to the New York Knicks, which is still, I don't know what the reports are on that, but it seems to have simmered down quite a bit between the New York Knicks and Kyrie Irving. But if I had to give official take, I'd still lean towards Kyrie going to the Knicks, because I think him and KD actually do have a big relationship. I do see KD leaving the Warriors, especially because Golden State's going to win this championship. To me, it's not a foregone conclusion, but I just wholeheartedly believe that. And I think he just a person I was talking to earlier said this the best. He kind of looks bored, and winning championships, to me, I think he does have fun winning, but I think he's bored with what's going on, and it's not as interesting anymore. So I think he actually does leave. He could he might go to the Knicks. I think that's a big if, but it's still plausible. The Clippers are an option. Then you also have to look at the Nets too, because he could still be potentially interested in the Nets. Him and Kyrie going there. That's a really good team that you have around him. You have a great center, Jared Allen, who's still young, but he's developing. Karis LeVert, I like him as a young scorer. I just like how that team is built. It's so young. So that's a viable option. And real quick, before I end this video, I want to talk about the Anthony Davis thing. I talked about the Lakers quite a bit. Sorry about that. I talked about the Lakers and the Anthony Davis trade quite a bit. And one thing that somebody told me, I think it was John Morvant, I was really talking to this guy yesterday. We were chatting about it. And he said something that made sense, is that as great as the Lakers have as an offer, because he also told me that the New Orleans Pelicans owner said that she'd be willing to trade with the Lakers. And though I didn't hear too much about it, which it makes sense, because why would you shut off a good trade asset team that you could acquire many assets from? He said that as good as the Lakers have for packages, do you really want to invest that much resources into those players, as in Alonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, because you would have to re-sign those players in the next coming year or two. And players nowadays are so big on brands and in big cities that if you trade for those guys and they don't come back, you're not only do you lose draft picks, but you lose the money you generate is gone. So that's why I said the New York Knicks have, which I know I discounted them yesterday, because I did talk about them a little bit, but I think the New York Knicks are a great option because they have great draft capital. They have some pretty good players. They do have Dennis Smith Jr., who I don't know if he's open to a trade, but they do have him. They got a Kevin Knox. They got young pieces on that team. New York Knicks would be a great place for Anthony Davis to land, and it's a big market. They potentially could get Kevin Durant and a Kyrie Irving. So that situation to me is so plausible that if I was the New Orleans Pelicans, I would really look to them first, and then the Lakers second, because, like I said, as good as the Lakers' offers are, as good as the package is, you want to make sure that you build with assets and capital. And to me, John Morant was right, is that the assets and capital is you want more cap space, which then you can sign a Kevin Durant and a Kyrie Irving, and then you could get Anthony Davis, and then you also get draft picks. So if I was really picking, if I was a New Orleans Pelicans owner, I might look towards New York first. And I might look towards them seriously and immediately. And the reason why I discounted a Celtics team is because, to me, the Celtics are just like the Los Angeles Lakers, even though they do have some more picks, is that you have a Jason Tatum, you get a Jaylen Brown. Those guys might want to play in bigger markets. Do you really want to kind of compromise all of that just to get some players out of it? I don't know. I would build through draft capital, as in getting more draft picks, and then just keep your salary cap space so you can sign those type of guys. And then for New Orleans, you're not only are you getting draft capital, but then you're trading Anthony Davis, and you have the 1 pick, and then you have potentially the 3 pick. So I think the guy I was talking to, John Morant, yesterday was right that, you got to look at capital. What do you need? What do you really want? And I think the New Orleans Pelicans do want draft capital and more options. And then you have so much cap space once you trade him. And don't forget that Drew Holiday also requested a trade, so you could potentially look to trade him somewhere, get more draft capital, because he's actually a really good player. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league at his position. So to me, the Pelicans have so much more to offer. They have so many players to offer up, and they can get a lot of draft picks. And a lot of young players too, because they're not only looking for draft picks, but you want to get young players. You don't want older contracts or bad contracts. So that too. So thank you guys for listening. This is my breakdown on the Kyrie Irving interest with the Brooklyn Nets, and also my new take on the Lakers trade, the Anthony Davis trade situation. Is that the New Orleans Pelicans got to look for draft capital more and more younger players. You can't just really look out of necessity and just players that you could acquire. So that's going to do it for this video, though. Thank you guys for listening. This is my take. It's Purple Shirt of Live Sports, and I will see you guys in my next video.